Edition of Keeping It Real right here on 3FM 92.7. And I have some of the coolest ladies in the game with me as per usual. Introducing the one and only Helena Pierre Ampafo.
Well, not as cool as you're making it seem because the air condition isn't even on. So let me rectify. So go down the line. Let me rectify.
Okay, we'll come back to you. And the one and only Miss Judy. And joining us, we have artiste and an all-round cool girl. It is Mia.
Hey, Jay.
Okay, we'll come back. And finally, Helen.
Yeah. Whatever. Who cares? Nobody cares.
Clearly, someone stole your lunch today.
Yeah. You already know the deal.
The Grinch is here.
Blah, blah, blah. What is good about the morning? And so on and so forth.
The Grinch that stole Easter is here.
That's all right. Hi, how are you doing?
We're good. Clearly, someone's not having a great day.
I mean, you know, I love Tuesdays. They're like one of my favorite days
of all time.
Favorite. Listen, on a Tuesday, woo!
Let's give
That's
it up.
when I come alive.
Wow.
I enjoy it to no end.
It's
what a
life.
wow!
What an amazing.
Miss Judy won't. She'll complain about the air condition, but they don't watch Shapuskiliki.
Hey,
that's why I've given her the remote. Yeah, because you're.
We are greeting. Yay!
What is this?
Money.
Oh, we're ready. You know what?
Ready.
It's just okay. Well, DJ Phyllis here. He's the Black Star, so we're representing the colors of the flag. Tomorrow is Independence Day.
Independence Day.
This time, I'm not really feeling that Independence Day.
The economy.
It's the economy.
It's the economy.
Or it's because we're not even feeling. We're not feeling independent at this point.
That's true. That's true.
Everybody's telling us what to do.
The USS, you lose 3 billion.
Oh, Charlie, be somewhere. As a sovereign state, then tomorrow is our Independence Day. But we independent.
Yes, everybody's
do this.
telling you.
Fast here. Stop. Sleep. Collect money. Collect taxes. Oh, Charlie.
Small no confuse you. And that's just Bonds, by the way. Miss Judy, how are you doing?
I'm good. AJ, how are you too?
I'm tired though.
Oh.
Well, I have to be honest.
Like that.
I have to be honest, but I am. But I hope you're feeling better than I am. Yeah. How's your week been? Since the last time I saw you.
Month end, so you know my stress.
Yes. Hey, calculations.
Yeah. It's been stressful, but yeah. I don't know. I don't want to complain again, as I said. So we are taking each day as it comes. So.
Is it the economy?
For the economy, I don't even want to complain about it. Because people are doing well. People are like enjoying life.
That one is true. But what are their ties to be able to do? Like, you got to be tired of something.
But some people also appear to be doing well. I've learned in recent times to be very circumspect about the things that you see and you say, go.
What led you to become circumspect about that?
Oh, it's just like,
what realities were you exposed to?
I used to be one of those people that would go on Instagram and I'm like, that couple is goals.
Yes.
I wish I had what they had. Or I'll go on this person, they're so successful. I want them. And then it always comes to light. No, not always, but that things are never the way that they appear. Somebody that you see on the gram, because nobody's going to post themselves crying.
Nobody
myself, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I don't if you're crying in your bedroom. Although I've posted myself crying before, but I digress. So everybody's showing you their highlights reel, but the behind the scenes, we all keep it to ourselves.
Yeah,
and
the reality is different.
The reality is different. But yeah, after a few of these goals, then you hear these beating her, she's cheating. And I've quickly learned to not go and say things like, I want what they have. Because you don't know what it is that they really have, and you are wishing something that
completely
you probably
different.
don't want.
Yeah, true that.
I'm actually looking at the new buildings and the cars that people are buying. It looks like the economy is good.
Is the economy, or is it that they are magicians in the economy? Some people are able to make money out of hard stone.
They could have rented the cars. You never know. Like,
and also,
you never know.
Are people renting cars to floss in the city?
Yo, they are doing that. Like,
real talk?
Yeah, they do that.
Yes.
To get your attention.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, actually,
you can't believe it, yeah.
Actually,
you can.
Yeah.
Actually.
I've seen quite a number of scenarios where the men actually are not what they put themselves out to be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
quite a bit.
Like, especially people that love bomb you, they have to pull all the resources
together, and then you get in there, then you realize that
So the good guys are not getting the ladies, like,
unfortunately.
Because when you come like as you are, like they'll just dump you.
Really, you think so?
I think
at this
Ghanaian
point,
girls are understanding.
if you see enough shege, you want a good guy. Like you've seen small shages rock you a little, and you're like,
checking out.
A good guy is not a bad idea.
But Judy, why are you saying that? And I see DJ Phil is reacting to that. Ghanaian girls are very understanding.
I think
we
so.
are not. Someone
It's
recently
money.
shared a story that they married for 2 days and they're divorcing because the guy basically he rented everything for the wedding. Before, like when they were dating, he was kind of taking her to hotels, showing off and all that.
Yeah.
Now they get married, he doesn't even have a house to go to. He had nothing.
Yeah.
So he's like,
whilst he was courting her, wooing her,
he was showing
it
off.
was all a facade.
Yeah, they could
It
create
was
that
all
from a rich
ladies
family,
like good
so he
stuff.
thought,
Like we like beautiful stuff. We
They're
like
not on a
things
rich
done.
family, so he was
Yeah.
coming to now milk the family.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a house come on a different level.
work.
Like you have to like come in a different level.
So
like,
then when he could no longer afford to keep up the facade, what happened?
Immediately after the wedding, she was expecting to move to a house, and there's nothing. There's
There's
nothing,
nothing to his
absolutely
name.
nothing to move into.
Wow.
people actually marry to like scam others. Like that's what it's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on. So they can rent all those stuff, like the cars, and they can create a really
Listen,
good
I don't
look.
know why I'm pretending like I don't even know what is going on.
Yeah.
I went on a date with a multi-millionaire, allegedly.
Mrs. Dangote.
Listen,
Come on,
he
hoping
was-
for it.
I remember at the time the World Cup was upon us. He was like, "Should we go to Dubai?" And I was like, "Well, all the rooms are taken. It's a little bit late." But in my mind, I'm thinking, "Yeah." I said it's a little bit late, but he was like, "Listen, for me, it's never too late."
Yeah.
Granted, we never ended up there. But he was like, after the date, he was like, "Well, what's your weekly maintenance?
Whoa.
To maintain
Even
you?"
for energy.
Yeah,
I was
$10K.
like, okay, we pass here. I have an apartment there, and I have a
Wow.
Only to a couple of days later, just stumble upon a post that was like, "Hey, this guy, they owe some restaurants be money." And that's his own. His own is fried rice come. And so I jokingly screenshot, I didn't even put his face there obviously because it's an old post. I jokingly said, this Accra millionaire who was asking for my weekly key bill hasn't paid his fried rice bill. Then out of the woodwork come a multitude of people.
Oh my God.
Men, women, and businesses.
What?
Scammer.
I
Come
know
on.
this guy. I know this guy. I said, I was getting people my names. I know this guy. He said he sells this. I know this guy.
Hey.
Wow.
Lord have mercy.
Needless to say, I haven't run into him in a couple of years, but I feel like he reinvents himself every
Quarter.
He'll go quietly because I think the pressure was on as well. People had started to. I think that before he had hair and was a bit slimmer. And let me not say too much.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Hey, boys are packaging. Boys are packaging. Boys are packaging. Oh my God. I'll tell you a story, yeah? So, randomly so at a work event at one time, and I met this gentleman, and he came under the illusion of being the head of the company, and then now starts to chat me up, and I'm like, yeah, and I was it seemed very weird to me, and me, I'm the kind of person that I try and study people for a while before I even bother giving you my time. So, okay, we'll chat, but in terms of meeting or probably even extending, I don't know about that. Then I realized that the stories weren't making sense. Then one day I had a cousin, and we're going out into town. And he paused in front of the company. I was like, "Oh, I know that person's CEO." So, "Oh, he also knows that person. He does business with that company." I said, "Oh, that's cool. This is him." And he looked at it and says, "That's not the CEO." I said, "No, that's it though." He says, "No, that's not the CEO. He knows the CEO. This is the CEO." He shows me the picture. And I said, they were thought. So I think he was told to come and represent the gentleman, the CEO, and now tries to pass himself as the CEO. And try and get a nice guy. And I say, nah, I'm sorry.
Tactics.
And I'm so thankful that I didn't even bother wasting my time even in the talking stages with this person.
Okay.
And then that was just how I quickly shut down.
But if there was some attraction there and you heard he was the CEO, was that going to be like an extra plus?
a nice gentleman who has a good paying job or owns a company, it's always not a bad thing. It's not a bad
That's why
thing.
the packaging continues because
Honestly though,
I suppose.
But yeah, notes to girls: when you ever meet someone that talks a big game, always give it time. Always give it time. Eventually, they will start to unravel, and then you just have to sit back and watch it unravel, and you don't have to commit anything or yourselves into any of this relationship.
Very true. Good advice. Good advice.
Anyway, speaking of which, I don't know if the first topic is even more exciting than the next one we're about to do, but we're about to get into.
I have no comment about that.
We're about to get into another side of things, and that is let's talk about sex, baby. Now, the question is, at what point did your parents speak to you about sex? Can you remember? Did you ever have a sex conversation?
I don't think so. I certainly haven't had a sex conversation with my dad ever in my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, never from him. I think maybe when I was, I don't know, maybe something like 12. My mother called my sister and I, and she was like, "Make sure you stay virgins. Make sure you stay a virgin." Something like that. Make sure you stay a virgin. And we're like, "Yes, ma." And then we like, that was the extent. Something like that. Sat us both on the bed. Yes, make sure that you just stay a virgin. We're like, yeah, cool. That was the end. That is
the closest to it.
That's it.
To the big birds and bees conversation.
That is it. So.
Did you ever have them, Miss Judy? If
I actually did. I have an elder sister.
Oh, okay.
So I think growing up, they'll talk to her about it. I remember they used to show this condom advert. That was a perfect opportunity to hear things we didn't want to hear.
Wow.
Immediately that advert pops up, we are dead.
Ish.
It's a whole conversation on
Wait, Phil, are you trying to sing it? What is it?
If it's
not on, it's not it. I remember a brand new one.
It's a whole conversation on
Love Life, Stop AIDS or something.
But that's different from the AIDS Be Real, Make You Savvy the D. That's the same one.
It's the same one.
The All Stars.
I know it's PPAG.
Wait, hold on.
PPAG stand by me. Oh, that was different.
I can't remember.
One that was a cartoon one. So it had a wood. I can't remember that so well because I was.
Was that not the drugs one? Mama make coin, made me woman call library.
No, that was Stop Drugs.
That was drugs. That was drugs. Okay, we're showing our ages. So anyway, I don't remember any of this.
Hey, wait, hold on. Let's listen. Is it this one? It's not on, it's not in.
I remember this.
You can be just another. Stop life,
yeah.
Stop AIDS. That's what I said. Love life, stop AIDS.
Oh, I thought it was Stop Life.
So that's what I said.
I'm out for much of you. Off it war. You think I know?
This one sounds like malaria symptom. Yes.
Chicago.
Gangago. I remember this.
Friction.
It's a whole banger, like.
This was so good.
It's not on, it's not in.
Chop Life. Stop AIDS. Stop Life.
No, Love Life, Stop AIDS.
Don't forget about your condom. I'm not friend of the socks. Don't know you are. I'm not telling
Jara's tight. Aye.
I can't believe this.
No, I need to hear that. If this was. Oh, yeah.
down. Hey, what?
Where's the rap?
You can be to one another. So many rappers come.
So this is the one.
It's not in. There's so much rap came. There was
no, but wait, which one? Is Ace Be Real? Make you sabi the deal. The last girl where you try. Is this the one?
Really?
Wait. Is this the one?
And you're ready on the Kwame and Tia come here. And then we could be saying, I see I saw question. Given a year now when you're my answer. Yari, a kiss your nanny, take it to the international crew. You're gonna call on the room. When you get Gala more www.
Oh, play. Phil.
Charlie, there is nothing wrong with having
Hey, this one.
Yeah.
Charlie, there are many to select.
Come on.
Secure, Panthers, and even Rex. You should come to Charlie and protect your health. It's Be Real.
So make you sabi the deal. The last girl where you try the deal. The last deal.
No, this song needs to
That
be
is
brought
all
back.
I was waiting for, but this is the banger.
Yeah, it's a banger on its own.
See, AIDS awareness used to be much more intense, I think,
And
back
people
in the
used to
day.
remember it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yes.
I'm not even. I was having a conversation with someone earlier today that I just at my age, I'm like 30 something. 32 really. Some days I'm 30. Some days I'm 29.
Okay, that's allowed. Okay, that's
Yeah.
allowed.
I think most of the days I'm 29. But I still feel like if I was to get pregnant today out of wedlock, I'm bringing home a teenage pregnancy. Like, I'm not even capping. Like, I feel like, no, I'm not even capping. Like, I feel like at my age, because of how I was sensitized with songs such as these, and my parents speaking about how don't bring a child out of wedlock, that kind of thing. At my age, I feel like I need to get married before I can start a family. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
And perhaps in some of these conversations and songs that we had earlier on that have sort of influenced us millennials to think this way. Do you feel that way? And when did you actually ever have a talk? Right.
No.
Oh, you never did?
You know, my dad was a pastor. I mean,
preach it.
yeah. So for us, it was like, fear God. Like, we already feared God. So then that's not even a problem. But like, they don't want to see you bringing like guys to the house. Like, you can't talk to a guy. Who are you talking to? And even the education part, even when you're like showing adverts like that, you have to go and like, I wouldn't say hide, but you pretend as if you're not even watching, because and if you're even watching a movie and you see people kissing, it's like at that time you feel so uncomfortable.
My dad will let you watch it.
You know, oh, really?
He will let you watch it and he will talk about it.
Hey.
Like, it got to a time that when we see him coming home, we run away because of the conversation he's about to have with you. You see someone kissing and you close your eyes. Why are you closing your eyes? Watch it. These are things that I know you're going to do. Do you think it's good for you to do that?
But I haven't even done it. Are you blaming for that
conversation that it was a nightmare for my
So for
siblings.
us, it was like, keep it holy. Yeah, keep it holy. And then later on, we had to like, I think the first time.
Hey, Nanye.
He's
You are late. Hi, Nanye. So you'll be joining us shortly. Yeah, I don't think Nanye even knows a song, really.
No, he 100% doesn't know.
He doesn't know it.
He has no idea
He's so
what that song
UKized that he wouldn't even know anything about it.
he does. Will he know that song?
Yeah, you know it.
JSS, right?
Can you sing it? We are singing
We
it.
need to get situated so we can get into it.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what is the appropriate time to have that conversation? If you're to have kids, or when you do have kids, what is that appropriate time you would tell or speak to your kids about it?
The moment I take them to school and they can talk.
Hey. So that's like 3, 4.
Yeah. Because they are seeing the opposite sex. They are asking questions. What is this? Why is the person's body different from mine? Why are they weaving from this part? I get those questions so many times. At first, I used to lie to them that, this is the weavy pain, this is that. And then my dad was like, no, tell them what it is. If you are telling your child that you are actually telling them this is not your need, how do you expect them to come and have that conversation with you when the time is due? Like, talk to them. So I remember the elders was asking me, so where do babies come from?
And you had the whole explanation.
I had a whole he regretted. I gave him.
What, the full breakdown?
The whole night shebang. Don't you consider breaking into bits and pieces? Okay, things like this is for you. Don't let anyone touch it. Like the basics that.
Well, actually, are we allowed to say what the body parts are? What time is it? I
think we can. It's
so like Miss Judy said, you instead of saying, oh, this is your tinky winky, and this is your boo boo, and this is your vagina.
This is your vagina.
This is your vagina.
Say that now.
Yes.
You used to say flower or something.
No, we have to stop saying that. Tell them this is not your cookie or your flower. Because that way, when somebody touches, because exactly, they come and report something to you, and they've been touched inappropriately, like, oh, somebody touched my cookie. Nobody will understand. But if they go to school and somebody touched my vagina, they don't say, hey, but it's not cookie.
Yes. This one is not baked.
Okay. It's not a cookie that's baked.
With everything happening, I feel they need to understand and come home knowing that, okay, someone touched this part of my body like appropriately or not appropriately, and they need us to know. You never know what happens in these schools. You hear headmasters, headmistresses touching people and all that. I want them to have that comfort to come home and tell me, oh, this guy did this to me. Because there are so many stories I hear from other kids. They go to school, they come back home and, oh, this person watched this movie. And I'm wondering, so how did the parents sit down to let this child watch this movie? And I need my children to understand that, okay, this is for adults. This is
you
for
as
kids.
A child can't.
You as a child, don't do this, do that. Should someone touch you, let me know. Let's address it. I remember when I was in class 2, when I was a child. I remember the story so well because my dad has been on my case. So I knew what was wrong and what was right. We had this neighbor. When we closed from school, my dad's a doctor. So when we closed from school, normally he's at work. And my elder siblings are way older than me. So sometimes I'm home alone. So this guy will come home and will play with me. I remember there was one time he lied on me. And instantly I knew that this man was wrong. I reported him instantly to my parents when he came home. And he was banned from coming to my house. So from that time, my dad knew I knew what was going on. And anytime he would have the conversation, does this guy come to the house? What happened in school? This and that. And I was up till now, I'm so comfortable having every conversation with him. You know, we as women, we have this menstrual period. Imagine that we are growing up and we don't know.
Right.
And
it will happen on our ways. Yeah.
Let's let them know.
I think
with the period, they're good. Like Ghanaian mothers and sisters are good with that one.
They'll get you.
They'll
this
tell
will
you
happen
about
and that will happen.
That's really about it because you can't wait for at all. Like I remember I was one of the not the last people. I think I got my period around 12, but people had got theirs 8, 9, 10, and I couldn't wait. I was like, come on. Because everybody was getting their eton and egg, and I was like, come on. So I would pretend I'd put like paint on my fingers. I'd be like, whoa. And they're like, masa.
It's not time.
And time will come, you won't even want to be in the throes of a menstruation. That was just, by the way.
But I think it should be as early as possible. I'm saying that because for after school, I had the opportunity to work with like children, kids. Yeah, and I think I went to teach either KG 1 or 2. I think the KG levels, and we had to like teach them what sexual abuse was, you know, for them to understand. You had to come to their level, use like, you know, some sort of
diagrams and stuff,
to do that. And then like most of them gave us feedback, like they've been touched inappropriately. Like they were kind of asking around that, not as direct as you can have it, but like how they understood it as and even some coming like up and saying, oh, their parents were beating, like their dads were beating their moms at home, slapping them, and they were so young. We were shocked they could actually come out and say that because they had that confidence.
They're noticing a lot. I think the children that are coming up are different. Because they're seeing, especially after COVID, the younger ones are coming because they're now so used to having seen some of the darkest days, that there's very little shield anymore. Like that innocence seems to be hard to maintain for kids.
Yeah, they observe a lot. Like they're looking at everything, they're picking it. Like this time their senses are really high and they pick everything. So I think as early as possible. However, I think it's a communication barrier. You have to come to the level of the child at any age and start talking to the child to understand what is going on. Because like you're saying, you could shout or do something or maybe talk to your dad about it to like curtail whatever was going on. So for a kid, you could teach a little kid, if you feel somebody's coming at you and you're not too comfortable, shout. Just basic stuff like shouting or calling for help or doing something. It could save you a lot. Yeah, it could save you a lot.
Well, what's the most ideal sex education curriculum? Like, what should be taught?
In Ghana?
Yeah.
I think the basics you should cover is how to identify if someone is touching you inappropriately. What is inappropriate? No understanding that maybe as a boy you're different from a girl is different from a boy. Understanding that as a girl you probably you will definitely menstruate, and just sort of giving them the basics so that they know when they're put in a situation that they're uncomfortable in, they're confident enough to tell you what's going on, and most importantly, confident enough, understanding enough to know that this is wrong and this is right.
So what about for boys?
Yeah, both.
Well, and as well,
I'm just wondering, like, in specific. I asked this because.
No, and you realize because a lot of boys' first encounters with women are when they were much younger, and the woman largely took advantage of them. But they feel they see it as, I got with an older woman earlier, but a lot of it was sexual assault.
When I found that out, that a lot of young boys' first experience was with like an older house
help. Yes,
I was like,
who used them for their sexual gratification? It's horrible.
It's awful. That is, listen, it makes your skin crawl because you leave your kids, your precious young
people,
boys,
people
you don't know what they're doing to them. Oh my goodness.
And then for them to understand that if someone forces you to touch them in a certain way, or they touch you in a certain way, or they use you as their instrument of pleasure, then the kid is confident enough to come to you and tell you that, Mom, I think there's something wrong there. But a lot of times we don't let people identify. We just tell them, this is your pee and this is your cookie, and don't let a man touch your cookie. So if a woman touches your cookie, you don't realize that it's bad. You get, and or okay, so don't, as a boy, don't let any man touch your cookie, or don't let any woman. But if a woman is telling you that I'm not touching you or you touch me, they don't realize that that's also bad. So you just need to give them the basics for them to understand that this is wrong and this is right.
And who should be given this?
Parents, definitely.
Parents.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you ever get a talk?
I mean, my circumstances were a bit different.
How?
So I mean, I grew up mostly without parents.
Okay.
Right? So in those years, I was in boarding school, and I learned most of my whatever I saw from both men and women in school.
Okay.
Right. So the reason I ask is when is the best time and etc. etc.
I think
there's
school going.
I'll give an example. Right. Okay. So as a guy, we have wet dreams. Right. No preparation for that. And I've been to schools where there's sex education. Again, it's not really
detailed.
It was always really centered around women.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess in some cases,
you can get pregnant
reasons.
easily, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Cool. But I mean, for guys, we've just learned
Figured it out.
Figured it out as it went. You had friends that would pretend that you've had sex.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, it's a big thing. I remember when there was this guy. I won't name him. Anyway, we were like, let's say 15 years old. And he was, he's had sex with someone, etc., etc. So I remember that time too, the magazines that are going around. And we were like, and then he was the most shocked when he saw the picture.
But if you've been there, how are you so shocked?
So scientists were like, pointed exactly to where the vagina is. And I'll never forget, he pointed just on the abdomen. So I'll be real with you. So at that time, some of us who had never seen it before, I grew up thinking that's where it was. For a long time. And obviously
not that long. Whatever.
Probably another 2 years.
It's funny you played that song, right?
Yeah.
Songs like that, and Helen made a comment that it was more intense back then. Songs like that were putting people Put in fear.
Yes,
right?
they put the fear of God in
really-
you.
Yeah, and that is a lot of the basis of our sex education in this part of the world. It's very like abstain or you die. It's either if you. I mean, the case was that if you so much as saw a penis, you were either going to die, be maimed,
or be pregnant,
killed, get pregnant.
You get pregnant immediately.
And I mean, what that does is really does the opposite in terms of even STDs, pregnancies.
Yeah.
You would think that type of education would put the fear of God in you, but actually it does the opposite, because if I'm going to die anyways, I'm going to get pregnant anyway. Oh, then it's about to be lit. Once you start, you're like, well, I'm clearly going to die, so let's do this in style. And that's what happens. I mean, think about it. That messaging never has that purpose of instilling fear.
No, it worked on me.
No, it worked on me.
It worked on.
I mean, not forever, because I mean, that's what I'm saying. The point was that you were supposed to stay a virgin till you got married and then hack it, and clearly that didn't work. So it doesn't work for any of us.
No, it worked for me. It worked for me.
Oh, you stayed to the workbook almost.
Yeah. No. True.
The whole
yeah, purely virgin.
I won't lie to you. I won't lie to you.
Married.
If I hadn't gone back,
You were purely virgin until you got married.
Exactly, 100%.
You were purely virgin.
100%.
No
Untouched.
100%.
Yeah, I don't believe
Purely
My
virgin.
husband intact.
I don't
No
believe-
kissing.
Huh?
You guys.
Purely virgin.
I'm telling you.
Me too. I am purely virgin.
Silent reaction for me.
We're ignoring the dry humping. All
Me
that kind
too.
Of
I am purely virgin. I am waiting for the right man at this point as well. But honestly, I think the way Helen.
Blessed are those who believe.
Hallelujah. So we love it. Purely virgins in our midst. Judy, are you a purely virgin?
No, I don't. I want to understand. That's why I'm asking her whether she kissed or not and all.
Oh.
You're like, no.
No kissing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. If you are purely, so you married him.
He was not.
I never spoke about not kissing. Relax.
Not knowing if you are sexually compatible.
She said they will be compatible in Jesus' name.
Wait, you went down. You went.
Hey!
No, that was the wrong place. I mean, you went there. No, that.
So, mommy, baby, sounds but you went.
Oh, you guys, you're talking about like sexual education.
No. This is more compelling.
No.
This is more compelling.
No, now it's true. Let's move on. Let's move away. I agree. Come on, guys. We're personal. Let's move on.
This is very compelling. This is
No, I've answered you.
Unless you guys want to go around and share your
experiences.
If not, then let's.
I said me, I'm purely virgin, so I don't know what you're talking
Believable.
about. Yeah. Very, exactly.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I think it's doable.
It is.
Yeah.
Someone like me.
Yeah.
Oh, why you guys laughing? I am. I'm saving myself. I'm saving myself. I am.
For the weekend.
Wow.
Or for what? For the future. Because
for the right man, Helen. Okay.
Just check. I'm asking.
We're saving. Okay. We're saving ourselves.
Sex education.
Yeah, back to it.
I don't know what information tonight you have offered. I've offered anybody. You've come here to laugh the whole evening.
Hey.
All I've heard this evening is that at least tell the children exactly what the body parts are so that they can repeat it if they need to tell somebody. That's what I've learned so far.
Yeah.
Yes.
But okay, what is the perfect time for you, Nanye, to have that conversation with your kids?
Do you know what? When they're ready.
What is ready?
Do you know? You mentioned
what is ready.
What's ready?
Yes. What age is ready for you?
It's not really about the age. You know, there are a lot of times where kids come up to you and ask you certain questions, and depending on the kind of parent you are, sometimes parents brush it off and move on, or depending on whether the parent is approachable. Kids may decide to come and say something that they've heard their friends talk about. So I think if you are an approachable parent, it will just sort of come. I reckon from what I've seen, we've had this conversation in one of our episodes of PFPS, and I think at the time it was like 12, 13 years old. But then someone made a very interesting point and said, listen, sometimes the conversation just comes up based on what the kids hear. And nowadays, the kids are exposed to a lot of things
very quickly
that can have them asking questions earlier than you anticipated, right? And I think as soon as that comes up, just have a conversation within the context of the child you're speaking to, you know, in the language that, you know, as you said, they understand. Me, my language is, you know, very straightforward. So, you know,
the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
Will you do birds and bees, or will you be, okay, so you have...
Do you know what? For my son, I would probably even go further and say, listen, pull-out method doesn't work. No, I'll keep it real. You know, there's certain things that...
Because you've experienced that firsthand. It's a question. Because you to know that it doesn't work, dear.
No, me, I've experienced
Tried
that,
and
Charlie.
tested.
Sometimes when they say they're on the pill, they're not. You know? No, I'm just saying, these are
You
all...
see,
these
now
are all
back to this question.
Yes.
Why is it that men, but we haven't figured out a proper alternative for contraception for men?
For men?
For men, yes. Because men have the ability to impregnate a lot more women than women can. Do you understand? It's the honest falls
So wait,
on the man.
are you saying that we're the problem?
Yes, you are. You didn't know this. You didn't know this. Because imagine if they were on pills, that will prevent them from actually having...
Don't even get me started on this particular topic. Don't even get me started. Because I agree with you. As a woman, you're fertile maybe 3-4 days in the month maximum. Men are fertile from the time they wake up Monday to Sunday, January to December.
They can impregnate a woman every hour.
Easter or summer or spring or
You know what?
All you have to do is rest and you can impregnate again.
First of all, I'm not going to apologize.
Rest and then keep it up and then go again.
Hold on.
No, there should be pills that will prevent the men from actually having spermatozoa.
I think it's in the pipeline. It's in the pipeline. Yeah.
So that there'll be no sperm in your.
But then that's how they'll trap. That's how one will trap you. Say, "Get Osikao, babe, are you taking your pill?" He said, "Yeah." He's not taking it. Men will trap you. I don't trust them with the pill. I'll take it myself. No.
You think men are trying to trap women?
Yes. Men will do that.
If Rihanna leaves A$AP Rocky, says, "Hey, Nanya will stop taking his pill on the first day."
Just to pop another one inside her. You will do it.
First of all, the only woman that can ever do it is Kelly Rowland. Let's just get us straight.
Wow.
Everybody who knows me knows that.
Oh wow. So
and the number of men who would stop taking their pill for Kelly Rowland so that they could trust him.
I said honestly, you'll be walking around thinking that.
I think a lot more of the men would be focused on people like Cardi B, those Nicki Minaj.
Oh no.
There's only a certain type of man that goes to Kelly Rowland.
Oh no, Kelly Rowland.
I said smart men go for Kelly Rowland.
Oh, okay. Well then,
majority.
So in that case, rest my case.
Because I believe that it's, you know what, it's true. Men will stop taking their pills just to trap women. Men will.
He not said it too.
Yeah, you will.
No, but we wouldn't do that.
He's like, you want to go? No, he's like, you want to go to Mexico with your friends. Then he'll check the date. She's good in August. Stop taking it around May, June. Your holiday cast, you preg. Sorry. Men will do it for reasons
Men
like
will
that.
do it. They'll be like, sit your sweets behind home and then cook my meal.
Do you know what? To be
and
fair,
get pregnant.
To be fair, there are certain things that actually reduce sperm count of men anyway.
Oh, like what?
Indirectly.
It's a long list there.
Huh?
We'll do our research and come back. So we can propagate the message.
I mean, think of it. There are a lot of problems with men in that situation anyway.
We can barely hear you. Please get a bit closer to your mouth.
Yeah. Ask me. I have nothing more to say.
Oh wow! It's like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But on the topic of sexual orientation, what do we how do you teach kids on
what?
the
different types.
sexual identity and orientation? Now
you want us to go there?
Yo,
we are still in Supreme Court too. We just went to Supreme Court.
Do you know what?
No, but you have to know. Like,
you know what?
Really
it's funny you said that. I had so my nephew, right? He recently asked me. He said, "Oh, do you like girls?" Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Yeah, I do actually." He's like, and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Why? Why did you ask?" He's like, "Oh, nothing." I was like, So, is that a point of start of a conversation.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It just really depends on,
how
but
it
kids
goes.
are asking these questions too. They are asking these questions too.
Things
So-
have changed.
Because it's hard to answer questions like that, especially in our particular context, because you don't know what is the right answer to give, and what their mindset is, and how you can be able to sort of become a parent and also manage these new age phenomena.
Because it's tricky. You as a parent might have very liberal views. For example, I consider myself extremely liberal, and in a society like this, I'm always in the extreme minority. Especially at a time when we're discussing this proper sexual human rights family bill. If you have a dissenting view, you have to be very strong, because you're going to be on the receiving end of vitriol. And I mean, in the last few days,
you've been bombarded,
and I've had to really package the things I'm saying and present it as neutrally as possible. So if you're a parent and you think you're quite and you are quite liberal, you have to also remember the context, the society, the culture, and also tailor the messaging in there. You can't have your kid be the only one that's parroting. And did you know that there's intersectional in the context of where they are? You have to situate it correctly. Maybe you don't want your children to maybe join in bullying of other kids who might be different from them. That messaging is very different. But as far as talking about sexual orientation, for me, maybe I'd wait for a question to come my way. I really don't know what the best way to go about it is.
They are watching it in cartoons
not everywhere.
That is true, actually.
So they are actually picking it and not being able to have the conversation.
So you have to get ahead of them?
Exactly.
I see.
He came home and he was saying that one child is at WAF, the other is, he can't walk, that kind of conversation. And I went like, we are all special. Like, this can happen at this point in time. So I just, you just go there a little bit and come back, not knowing what exactly he's picked up from watching the TV. So I think we should.
Then that means even the TV, what they're watching, these days, you have to be very, on guard.
So right now we have, situations where, stuff are being, adjusted or updated to suit what is going on.
So now. in line with the current
I wouldn't
times.
want to touch on certain things, but we are the next parents or kind of generation, the kind of parents you're going to be. You have to talk to them to understand these things, what this is, because you're going to show it to them. You're going to see it. They have to understand it. We've passed the part where the things our parents did, we are going to do double. We have to really step up and make sure
they're really
that
asking questions. So my only question as a kid was, I remember we were watching Jerry Springer. My mother was like, "This Jerry Springer, no, don't ask me any questions from what you're seeing. So just sit down quietly. Whatever you see, keep it to yourself."
Enjoy it and
then the first thing was, somebody was like, "So how did he know you had pubic hairs?" So I was like, "Mom, what's pubic hairs?" She said, "Hey, my friend, come on." I said, "If you are watching this thing, don't ask any question. Whatever you see here."
Jerry.
So I had no way. But thankfully, that was the extent of my questions. I wasn't exposed to too many divergent wild views. So my parents might not have been able to give me any answers. I might have had to rely on friends as well.
My very first encounter with that conversation about sex in general was during the impeachment of Bill Clinton.
Really? Monica Lewinsky.
And I remember his face was red, saying I did not have any sexual relations.
I did not have any sexual relations with that woman.
I looked straight at my dad and I was like, "What sexual relations?"
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And he looked back at me. And he's like, "What do you think it is?"
It's a situationship.
And I said, "Well, it can't be a good thing because he looks like he's lying." It was just a weird moment. So after that, we had this whole bookshelf of encyclopedias. So me, Charlie, the S.
You were going to
I went to that book.
So you found sexual relations.
And then the next day I came to, Dad, I know what sexual relations is. And I started reading the thing. He said, "Listen, I beg you."
Don't say this out.
Exactly. No, that's what he said. And that brings me to my next point. When there are certain controversial topics that your child is interested in.
Try to avoid it.
No, not even that.
Just
for me, I would say, just say, "Listen, this is my opinion." And you can have, a lot of people have these types of opinions, but I would highly recommend you probably be careful about who you speak to, how you speak to about these things. If you have further questions, come and speak to me. You know what I mean? So you can give them the context of what's going on the wider level, so they're not, like you said, going out and say, "Oh, did you know," and getting into trouble that you don't need to get into. Because at the end of the day, as much as, we talk about free speech and all these kind of things, listen, we are all human beings, and when you're around certain people that feel a certain way about a certain topic, sometimes it's just best to, keep it to yourself. I'm just saying, in some occasions, sometimes you just don't want that smoke.
Okay, makes sense.
You know what I mean? So.
I know some parents actually leave it to the teachers to teach,
and that's
the worst idea ever.
That's
like, are they 30 years?
Not because I remember. It's not too bad. Or what was his name? I actually remember our first sex ed class. How old are you in class 4? 9, 8? Yes. I went to Morningstar. Shout out to Morningstar. I remember the first thing he said was our teacher. Wasn't it Mr. Dua? Shout out to Mr. Dua, science teacher, class 4. That was our first ever class. Everyone's like, oh my god. He was like, when I say elbow, nobody laughs. When I say knee, nobody laughs.
But when I
say stomach, nobody laughs. But if I say penis, and then everybody went, and then that was how he started about how people get very shy about certain things. Yes. So I do remember in school having a comprehensive. They taught boys about wet dreams. There was a book that had. Shout out to Mr. Drea. So from class 4, we had those lessons about your period, about boys, about pubic hair, about hair growing from your armpit, your voice changing, your voice breaking for women, for girls, your breasts, But
I feel like people were not taught enough. So I saw a tweet here that a guy was going. It was his birthday, and his girlfriend tells him that, oh, my period has come, so. I think they wanted to do like a beach deal or something. And said, oh, she can't go because he tells her, looks her dead in the face and says, can't you turn it off? No. He said, for me, you would do it, turn it off. And she's do you not understand the concept? I was like, yeah, but then you can turn it off. And so not everyone pays attention to certain aspects of biology, and not every guy understands the concept of periods and what it entails.
Do you know what? Yeah, I don't think we ever had sex education, and that's crazy. Because I went to a decent school, but we watched the video. Okay, yeah. Entertainment.
But very few people understand beyond the concept of sex, about what happens to other people's anatomy, like females, and then the concept of period. So, gentlemen, if you're listening to us today, school yourself today. Find out a bit more.
I feel like we know enough. I feel like it's enough. I feel like I feel like women know less about men.
No.
It's true. It's true.
We understand men.
No, I think boys growing up into the adolescent puberty periods. Yeah. In fact, not much is understood about men in that situation.
and then more is understood about females.
I think it's a bit more documented. I think the female aspect is a lot more documented than men.
Because a lot of them is more experimental than anything. Because it's just
for boys.
No, for females.
Experimental.
Yeah, it's like they're figuring out the anatomy without necessarily thinking about how to. I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like there are a lot more sources, like very available sources for when it comes to talking about
boys. That's your voice break.
We go through a lot.
No, you know that because it's very well documented.
No, but boys
go through a lot too.
No, boys, your voice break. Yeah. You get.
I don't know. For the purposes of this conversation, I mean, how do we verify that? I can't just go on your whims and caprices. You think that women's issues are more documented. What information are you standing on to come by this assertion?
That when you were trying to state
that's not enough. If you were doing a research paper, you will fail.
What do men go through differently?
Do you know what? At the end of the day,
do your voice not break? Do you not shoot out in height? Do you start to gain hair?
What do you know about our actual development?
It grows.
Our actual development of our genitals. What do you know?
Does not grow, just grow bigger or smaller.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
it grows,
and that's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot more to it.
Does blood start to peep out of it?
Do you know what? There's the nipple hardening.
But women
tell you that? I don't know.
Our nipples also harden.
Hold on.
Our nipples also harden.
I'm telling you. Listen, there was a point where we were holding CDs inside. Listen,
it's painful.
Very.
But we used to. Have you seen how painful a female's nipple can be?
There comes a time when you're at that age.
Do you realize what happens before our period?
There comes a time at that age. You could look at a fan. A fan. Just by how it moves, you're aroused.
Have you seen what happens when we are in our period? Do you know how we PMS?
No, I understand.
And how we start to move swings. Have you heard of period diarrhea?
No, I hear that.
Have you heard of cramping?
I hear that. But what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the things that you are saying for women, not many people will be too surprised right? But when we start talking about what happened to men, I'm telling you, a lot more people will be surprised. It's not because
it's
you don't suffer.
We'll come
it's just not
back to
documented.
Cry me a river. We'll come back to it. But guys, thank you so much for joining.
Of course, I'm outnumbered here, so it's cool.
Cry me a river, baby. Go on and just okay. All right.
We don't bring Nanya here to abuse him. We swear, we really don't. We really don't.
We just love taking a mickey out of
For
him.
the men out there who are receiving abuse like me, there's a number on the screen. Please contact that number and share if you've experienced the same sort of experiences. Please share.
Oh, come on. Men can take a little bit of trolling. Come off it. It's all right. Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day. Nanya Kofi, CEO, Mood Seasons Perfumes and Skincare. We're joined with Raya. She's a musical artist. And finally, Miss Jude and Helen. And my name is AJ. We've taken Lord's time, but Lord is coming through. Lord, thank you for being so nice. On that note, join us next week for even more right here on Keeping It Real.
Just send nice the messenger to warn you about this HIV. This, my friends, come first.